everyone, Mitch coming in from the Commander's Core Studio. Welcome to the show. So on today's episode, we jump into some absolute steals right now because I can't believe these cards are less than $1. You should pick them up right now. And of course, there's a card list link in the description below. But now, let's jump into those cards. First up, let's start with some spicy artifacts, including Dragon Arch. This artifact is fantastic. 5 mana, pay 2 tap, put a multicolor creature card from your hand into play. Very simple, very effective, very old, and very unknown to some. It is a card that, again, when you play it, it's the kind that everyone at the table just like whips their head like, what is going on? Wait, what is that card? What does it do? Okay, and then all of a sudden you activate it out of nowhere, Aether Vial style, and you're like, oh yeah, just sneak into play this massive multicolor creature. So of course, not for every deck out there, but this 90-cent gem can absolutely turn a game on its head for you when you activate it properly. So yeah, utilize this one in fantastic multicolor fashion for the right strategies out there. Next up, mana staple, I would say, in some ways. One that has been pretty popular in Magic for a while, and one that has been out of my budget reach for such a long time that I don't think I could actually wrap my head around the fact that this could ever be budget-friendly. Gilded Lotus Artifact for 5. Tap add 3 mana of any one color. 98 cents, just under that $1 threshold. Yeah, this is a fantastic way to ramp. Again, my rule of thumb in Magic, except for Sol Ring, which is cheating, is basically, hey, you know what? If you're getting half the amount of mana back that you put into a mana rock or into any other ramp source, essentially, yeah, you're getting your money's worth. So, yes, this is a very good way to ramp, a very good way to fix your mana. And of course, there are certain combos that work well with it too. That being said, 98 cents for this one. Pick it up now. Okay, I promise I am not trying to cheat with this one. If you see the $1.03 on this screen, sometimes there's a slight discrepancy between Scryfall and Moxfield on when they get updated. On Scryfall, Thought Vessel is at 99 cents right now for this version. Okay, you gotta trust me on it, all right? Regardless, I did consider taking out the episode, but I'm like, you know what? No, I'm bringing it up because you can probably find it for less than $1 right now if Scryfall says you can. Artifact for 2, you've got no maximum hand size. Tap add a colorless. This is obviously a great card for many reasons. Again, like I just said, hey, you know what? Are you getting half the amount of mana back that you put into it? Yes, you are. So again, you are able to get this down early, get it down often, ramp quickly. Turn 2 ramp is probably the best ramp in my opinion. But being able to ramp so early and being able to, for so many decks out there, say, you know what? Don't worry about that hand, okay? That's everyone's least favorite part of Magic, right? Is like, oh, end of the turn, you got to discard down. You're like, oh, I don't want to. I want to keep all my cards. Okay, even just outside of like the I want to keep all my cards, yeah, for certain decks out there that are drawing an absurd amount of cards, having no maximum hand size can be a massive advantage. Just be careful, okay? Be careful with this one where, again, this advantage where you're just like, oh, okay, I've got 40 cards in my hand. The opponent does something. Wait. 1 second, let me see if I have a response. And by 1 second, you mean 3 minutes while you're looking through your giant hand. Yeah, do it efficiently, but still a great card, obviously, for many reasons. Okay, and this is not going to be a trend, but this is the other one that I found while scrolling through this list again. Pure Steel Paladin, $1.03, but again, on Scryfall does say 99 cents. I'm not trying to cheat, I promise. There's just a slight discrepancy. The rest of the ones on this episode, I hope I just double-checked them, but basically are less than $1 showing up on Moxfield. Here you go. Pure Steel Paladin, a 2/2 Human Knight for 2 mana in white. Whenever an equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. Metalcraft equipment you control have equipped 0 as long as you control 3 or more artifacts. This is a card that, again, has not been budget friendly for such a long time. It is so much value packed into one. Again, if you've got any kind of equipment strategy, this is a go-to for you. If you're not equipment decks, you probably can't get much value out of it because, again, it's based entirely on equipment, unless you really care about having a 2/2 knight that does nothing. Anyways, if you do have an equipment deck, though, my goodness, again, any equipment entering the battlefield, that means if you cast it, of course, I mean, off the top of your library with certain commanders out there, certain cards out there, or again, obviously, well, from the graveyard too, if you're reanimating certain things, you're able to draw a ton of cards with this, and of course, literally making it so that all your equipment have equip 0. That is insane. All you need is 3 or more artifacts. All of a sudden you get that. You are able to freely equip things left, right, and center, and you are able to do everything and anything with this for an equipment deck. Make sure you pick it up while it's still, again, less than $1 according to Scryfall, okay? All right, buckle up for this next one. We've got Corser of Kruix, a 2/4 enchantment creature centaur for 3 mana in green. Put the top card of your library revealed. Everyone gets to see it. Yay! Okay, slight downside there, but you know what? That doesn't matter all that much. You get to see it, and that's the most important part. That being said, you may play the top card of your library and say land. That's huge. Absolutely. Basically, additional card advantage. Your top of your library is basically a second hand in a way, and you are able to, again, get dead cards off the top of your library so you're not drawing into them. Whenever a land enters battlefield under control, you gain 1 life as well. I mean, at the very least, just knowing what the top of your library is can be a very good thing. Yes, your opponents get to know that too, but again, being able to just play off the top, that's massive. And of course, just incidental life gain, even if you're not in a life gain deck, is nice to have. Obviously, if that was the only thing on the card, it'd be like, maybe I won't consider that. But of course, if you do have a life gain strategy, having different instances of life gain, and this is a very easy one to utilize to get a lot of triggers off of. Yeah, commanders like Dina that absolutely love every single time that you gain a life. You're like, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, gain a life here, gain a life there, gain a life everywhere. So basically, card advantage, extra knowledge. What's not bad about the extra knowledge in Magic? You know, there's nothing bad about that, essentially, right? And of course, except for your opponent's knowing, I guess, which is not that big of a deal. And then gaining life too. There's a lot in this little package for 92 cents. Up next, we move on to Lazelle. I can never say that. Lazelle. Let's do that. Vlaakith Champion. Now, this is one of those instances where the actual, version of the card matters a lot when it comes to price. For some reason, players out there don't like this version of the card or these versions of the cards in D&D. I love them. I think they're awesome. But yeah, they are significantly cheaper typically. 91 cents compared to a lot more than that. And for a good reason, a fantastic card. A 3/3 Gith Warrior for 3 mana in white. If you would put 1 or more counters on a creature or planeswalker you control or on yourself, put that many plus 1 of each of those kinds of counters on a permanent player, choose a background. This is one that, again, has a lot of implications. There's a lot of decks out there that utilize counters in a different way. Again, it just automatically says right there, planeswalker. So yeah, if you've got a super friend strategy, yeah, you'd like to get extra counters on them, obviously. So whether they're just coming into play, if you are activating their loyalty abilities, if you're proliferating, extra free counters for those are massive. There's only so many ways to do that with planeswalkers. This one also says, hey, you know what? Creatures, if I'm getting counters on you, plus 1 counters, I was going to say charge counters. I guess there's a couple artifacts that have charge counters still, but yes, being able to get counters on your creatures is great as well. But of course, for yourself too, let's say you've got an experience counters deck. Yeah, getting extra ones like that can be massive as well. So this, again, is one of the very few ways to get a lot of counters on a lot of different things. And again, just because of the art version, if you're like me and either like the art version itself or don't care what art version you get, also like me, yeah, make sure you pick this up while it's still cheap. 91 cents, a massive discount from the other versions of this card. Wait until you see this next one, though, because Joyal Emperor Beast, yeah, this is such a good card. A 3/3 human spell shaper for 5 mana in green. Pay 3 mana in green, I should say. Tap, discard 2 cards until end of turn. All lands target players controls are 3/3 creatures that are still lands. Now, this is one that players out there might not realize the actual implications of and be like, why are you bringing this one up? I mean, it's like not that popular of a commander. In 99, yeah, you can use it. I'm telling you, you should be utilizing it for certain strategies out there. If you are in a strategy that doesn't have any kind of massive amounts of ways to protect things, like green is a couple, right? Green's got heroic intervention, rapid vigor, and not too many other ways to protect your entire team. This is massive board wipe protection and also kind of like a win condition all in one. You might not realize it's board wipe protection, but it is, because here's the thing. If an opponent is about to cast a Wrath of God, this is what you do. You say, hey, opponent, I know that you're going to be casting a Wrath of God. If you do that, if you want to go through with that, because I know I've got this massive army of, I'm in green, I don't know, worms, whatever. Cool, I got this massive army of worms. If you're trying to stop me from doing what I'm doing by wrathing the board, I'm going to turn all of your lands into creatures. And technically, in my opinion, that is not mass land destruction because You're the one casting the destruction spell. I'm just turning your lands into creatures. So this is a good way to say, you know what, opponents? I'm holding you hostage. You can't cast Wraths. I'm just going to win the game. Cool, good for me. Or, obviously, in a good scenario, turn all your lands into creatures and attack with them too. It's fun! Now, this one's worth your attention, though. 95 cents for this gem. Justella, Blade of Gold Knight, a 5/5 angel flying in first strike for 7 mana in Boros, but my goodness, worth every amount of mana. If a source would deal damage to an opponent or a permanent opponent controls, that source deals double that damage to that player or permanent instead. Gross! If a source would deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent half that damage rounded up. Yeah, on both ends, this is absolutely massive. This is absolutely huge. This is a card that says, hey, you know what, opponents? What's going to happen is all of you hurt twice as much, no matter what is going on. So again, when it comes to you attacking them, you damaging them, great. But also, your opponents hurt each other twice as much, meaning that they kind of are slightly incentivized to attack each other in a way, too, potentially to actually get the most out of that. On top of that, of course, again, your damage is halved, meaning that, again, the incentive to actually attack you or even, even being able to deal damage to you with certain things is not going to be happening. So, yeah, opponents, don't take your damage here. Take it elsewhere. You're basically saying things are very uneven right now. The amount of damage is like 4 times the amount of damage to me, kind of in a way. So, yeah, you can get a lot of work out of this gem for a lot of strategies out there. Again, a great card for Angel decks, a great card for aggressive strategies, a great card for Pelifort strategies in a way, too, or political control strategies sometimes, too. Or, I mean, I guess the Group Slug. The list keeps going on. It's a great card. Pick it up. Now let's switch up strategies, though, and let's get some more lands into play. Who doesn't want that? Court of Bounty is a great card for that, and then some. 98 cents for this gem. Enchantment for 4 mana in green. When it enters the battlefield, you become the Monarch. Super simple, super effective. Let's introduce Monarch into the game. Which, just a side note, I absolutely love. I love when we put Monarch into the game because it forces attacks when otherwise players would just be sitting back like the entire game until the very end. Anyways, at the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a land card from your hand on the battlefield. If you're the Monarch instead, you may put a creature or a land from your hand on the battlefield. Here's the thing. Even if you're just getting a land from your hand on the battlefield, that's quite nice. Being able to ramp every single turn, potentially, depending on your hand situation, that can be absolutely massive. Obviously, good for landfall strategies, just good for, like, big mana strategies, just ramp strategies in general. But, of course, on top of that, if you are the Monarch, which again, you're in green, you've got some massive creatures, you can protect your situation and be able to get the Monarch and make sure you have that until your upkeep at times. And when you do so, you're like, oh yeah, let's just cheat and deploy this Blightsteel Colossus. Woo! I mean, think about getting that done super early. Again, if you literally get this down and like no one's got any good attacks on you, literally next turn you're like, oh, okay, this is like turn 4 because like I ramped on turn 2, I got this out turn 3, turn 4. Cheating to play again. Blightsteel Colossus. Okay, this is a game-ending card. So yeah, not only is this just like steady Eddie when it comes to actually ramping, but it's also like massive game-ending situation type card depending on what's going on. So yeah, make sure you're picking it up. Let's zero in on this next big one though, because Dictative Crew Fix is less than $1 right now. Enchant for 3 mana in blue. Flash, so you can flash it whenever you need to. At the beginning of each player's draw step, the player draws an additional card. Now, this card is not for every strategy out there, I will say. It is a great draw engine. It's again like a Howling Mine, but at flash speed, basically. It is essentially a card that you're either playing with Group Hug or playing with, well, maybe some kind of incentive to actually give your opponents cards. And there are decks out there that do that maybe are punishing your opponents when they're drawing cards or gaining advantages when they draw cards, essentially. But yes, this is not for every card deck out there, like Howling Mine. It is still a fantastic card and one that you can use in politics, you can utilize in, group huggy type decks, and you can utilize in punishing decks. You're like, hey, draw another card. You're like, I don't want to. No. Draw another card because this does not say May on it. So draw that card and take that damage or whatever I'm doing. Have fun. Speaking of fun, a card that people out there might forget about, might not know about, or just, well, I've never heard of. Chamber Manipulation, a card from my childhood. Absolutely love this card. Enchant Land. It's so old again. It doesn't say like Aura. Anyways, it's Enchantment Aura that enchants lands. 4/4 mana in blue. Enchant Land has tap, discard a card from your hand, gain control of target creature till have turn. There are very few ways to just gain control of creatures, essentially. Now, this one notably is missing a word on it. Well, a couple of words, but the keyword, haste. This does not give that creature haste, meaning that players might just be like, I'm not going to play that then because I can't attack with that creature. Yeah, okay, you can't attack with that creature if you don't have another way to grant haste. If you do have a way to grant haste, great, do so and attack with that creature. That being said, what this does is, okay, I discard a card from my hand. Yeah, that's a downside, but also for some decks you can actually make that into an upside. But being able to just, okay, someone's attacking me. I don't want to get hit by that. Let me just go grab another opponent's creature and block with that effectively. Thank you. So yeah, this can be a great way to just steal blocks. It can also just be a removal spell in a way, a repeat removal effect. If you've got any kind of a sacrifice outlet, like let's just say greater good. Oh my goodness. Okay, I steal my opponent's biggest creature. All right, I sacrifice it. I draw a bunch of cards, discard a couple cards. Cool, good for me. Even if you're not gaining value off of, drawing cards, it's still removal. So yeah, keep in mind it for removal, for protection, for just messing with your opponents, for activating your opponent's abilities. You can have a lot of fun with a card like this. This next one changes everything when it comes to, well, your opponent's game plans, tactics, and everything. Mystic Barrier, enchantment for 5 mana in white. When it enters the battlefield or at the beginning of your upkeep, choose left or right. Each player may attack only the opponent seated next to them in the nearest direction. Basically, your planeswalker is controlled by them. Essentially, hey, multiplayer works a bit different now. We're not attacking just willy-nilly wherever we want. You gotta pick and choose. You gotta swing that direction or that direction. You can't just swing wherever you want, everyone, okay? There's an order to things. So yeah, you play this and you're like, okay, player on my right is super scary. Yeah, let's attack right, everyone. We're just gonna go this direction, all right? Player on my left, not very scary, all right? Coming at me, I don't care. And obviously with this one, you can switch things up throughout the game. If your situation changes again at the end of your upkeep, you're like, let's change that a little bit. So essentially you're protecting yourself from every opponent except for one. And again, that's probably going to be the opponent that you don't care about getting attacked by. And then this one just makes it so that the opponents who might be the most threatening, maybe even have like deals with other players or like they're buddying up during the game. You're like, well, if you want to use your combat, you got to swing at your buddy. So yeah, it can be a great card that can really throw a wrench into a lot of players' plans while helping you Pelifort up and protect yourself and messing with other players. And with that, this episode is coming to a close. Comment below with your thoughts on it. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one. This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.